Good morning and welcome to Daily Tanya. Today is Thursday, the 12th day of Sivan. Today is considered the last day of Tashlumim, the days that we, in the time of the temple, we would make up for the holiday of Shavuos to bring the offerings in the temple. So this is like the continuation of the holiday of Shavuos, the holiday of giving the Torah. Let's begin the Tanya with Tzedakah Gedela Tzedakah Shemakareves Asageula. Tzedakah brings Mashiach closer. So today we begin chapter 4 in the Shar, Haychud, והאמונה, the second part of the Tanya that talks about the unity of Hashem. And yesterday we finished chapter 3 with a question. The question was, how come we feel ourselves as existing, self-existing? We shouldn't be able to be feeling ourselves as self-existing. Why not? Because the Alter Rebbe explained that the true reality of the world is not what we see. The true reality is God's energy that vivifies and gives life to the world. We just see the physical part. But he gave an example that just like the sunlight outside of the sun you can see the light of its sun as a separate existence. You see here sunlight, but when the light of the sun is within its source, it does not really exist. It does not really exist as a separate entity as the light. It's completely consumed within its source. And that is the example that he used to explain that Hashem created us. Within the source of Hashem, we're completely non-existent. But he created us here, so we exist. And we have a feeling of self-existence. But the question is, it's you cannot compare it to the metaphor. The metaphor of the sun is perfect because in the metaphor you can understand the sun is in one place and it shines everywhere else. But how could you apply this to the moral when we're talking about God? God is everywhere. So if Hashem is everywhere, so the entire creation is like the light within its source, because the source is everywhere. So we shouldn't be feeling ourselves as self-existent. So here the Alter Rebbe begins the explanation in the next 3 chapters. Alter Rebbe will explain the concept of tzimtzum, the idea of God's ability to conceal his light, to contract and conceal his light. And he begins with the verse that it says in Tehillim, Ki shemesh u'magein Hashem Elokim, that God, there's the names of God, Hashem and Elokim, as we soon explain, is like the sun and its shield. The sun has a powerful light, and for the sun to be able to be here in this world, you need to have the shield. You need to have the shield that protects the light of the sun. Even in science, you have the magnetic field that protects. Science calls the magnetosphere. So this is the protecting the light of the sun should not harm this world. And indeed, it says when Mashiach comes, it says God will take out the sun from its sheath, and the righteous will be healed by it, and the wicked will be punished by it. That means that Hashem will show his light, unfiltered, so to speak. So if you're not capable of receiving that great godly light, you're going to be punished by it. You can't take it. The righteous will be healed by it. So this is Hashem, the name of God, Hashem and Elohim. We know God has many names, and the names of God obviously cannot define God. God is above any names. The names of God express certain attributes of God, the way Hashem affects the world in different ways. So here we're talking about the two names, the name of Avaya, the Yud Kei Vav Kei, which is called the Tetragrammaton, and Elohim. Elohim is the power of concealment. And just like the sun needs a shield to protect that the light of the sun should do only good, not do harm, to conceal somewhat and filter the light of the sun, the same thing is you have the name of Avaya, which is the creative power of Hashem, needs another name, a name of Elohim, which is the concealing power of Hashem. So let's see inside. So the Alter Rebbe, Kihine ksiv kishemesh u'mogen Hashem Elohim. It is written, for a sun and a shield is Avaya and Elohim. Just as the sun gives forth illumination, so too does the four-letter divine name, Havaya, the Yud, the Kei, the Vav, and the Hey, that provide us with spiritual illumination. Likewise, just as the sun's shield protects us from the intensity of its rays, so too does God shield us with the divine name Elohim. This is why in the beginning of the creation, when it says God created the world, it says Bereshit bara Elohim. Elohim created. Vayomer Elohim, throughout the 6 days of creation, the name Elohim is mentioned. Only on Shabbat, the name of Havaya is introduced. The higher name, the name of the unlimited creation. And now the Rebbe goes on and explains regarding the sun, comparing the sun and its shield to the name Avaya and Elohim. He says, Pirush. This is to mean Magen or Natik Lashemesh. The shield refers specifically to that shield which is a covering for the sun. To protect creatures so that they should be able to bear it, to bear the sun's heat and the ray and everything else that comes with the sun. As our sages say, our sages of blessed memory have said that in the time to come, in the time of Mashiach, the Holy One, blessed be, will take out the sun from its sheath. The wicked will be punished by it. And it goes on to say that the righteous will be healed by it. As we explained, because the powerful light of the godly energy, you need to be qualified to be able to receive it. And if it comes without filters, and you're not qualified, then that is a punishment for you. Now, just as the covering shield shields the sun, protecting creatures from the intensity of its rays, so that benefit may be derived from it. Kach Shem Elohim Megin L'Shem Avaya Baruch Hu. So does the name Elohim shield the name Avaya, blessed be, enabling the created universe to absorb the divine illumination that emanates from it. And Alter Rebbe goes on to say that this concept of the name Havaya, which is the creative power, is also indicated in the actual spelling of that name Havaya, the Yud, the Hey, and the Vav, and the Hey. And it says, the Shem Havaya, Pirushai, Shemehave es hakoil me'ayin leyesh. The meaning of the name Havaya is that which brings everything into existence, ex nihilo, something from nothing. The word Havaya is written the Yud, Hey, and then the Vav and the Hey. The Hey, then the Vav and the Hey makes the word Hove. Hey, Vav, Hey. Hove. This means the action of creation. And then the Yud in the beginning serves as indicates that this is something that is continuous. In Hebrew, Yud, when you have a Yud in the beginning of a word, usually the way it's understood is the Yud makes it to the future. There's 4 letters that make the thing in the future sense, and future tense, like the 8 letters of Eitan, Aleph, Yud, Taf, Nun. So when you say, for example, I am doing, you say Ani Yoseh. I will do is Ani Yaseh. You add a Yud, I will do. But here the Alter Rebbe introduces us a deeper, another rule in the Hebrew, and in the understanding of the Hebrew, is the fact that letter Yud serves also sometimes as indicating something that is constantly done. And he brings as example from Job, from Eov, that shows that the Yud indicates something that is constantly done. And the same thing is here, the name of God. Hove means creating, and the Yud that is added to Hove makes it constant, that the creation is constant. That is the name of Hashem. That's what Alter Rebbe says, Vayud meshameshes ala pe'ulo she'i beloshen hoive v'samit. The letter Yud prefixed to the stem Hove modifies the verb, indicating that the action is present and continuous. And the proof that Alter Rebbe brings, the example is from the verse in Eov, Kedepirish Rashi, or Pasuk, Kocho Yasa Eov Kol Hayomim. As Rashi comments on the verse, in this manner was Job, Eov, accustomed to do Yaseh. Yaseh means he always do, all the days. That's what Rashi explained. The word Yaseh, this is what it sounds like this is what he will do. But Rashi says, no, this means that this is what he would constantly do. So the letter Yud gives it the indication that it is a constant thing. And that is what the creation is about. The creation is not something that was done once and Hashem is gone, but Hashem constantly needs to be there to create it. This action is the life force which flows at every single instant into all things created, from that which proceeds from the mouth of God and his breath. As we spoke in the previous lessons, what that means. And brings them into existence, ex nihilo, something from nothing, at every moment. Because the fact that they were created during the 6 days of creation is not sufficient for their continued existence. As explained above, they must continuously be recreated. So that is the idea of the Havaya. the name of Havaya that constantly creates. Now the Alter Rebbe goes on to explain this name Havaya is connected with the attribute of kindness of Hashem, which is also referred to as the attribute of greatness of Hashem. As we say it during the prayer, it is written also in the Torah, in the Nevi'im, in the Kesuvim. Says the Alter Rebbe, "Vehine besidur shvachav shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu ksiv hagadol hagiber chulu." In the enumeration of the praises of the Holy One, blessed be He, it is written Hagadol, the great. And then it says Hagibor, the mighty, and so on. Alter Rebbe is going to explain that Hagadol, the great, refers to God's greatness, God's kindness, infinite kindness of giving. Gibor, we'll explain tomorrow, is the idea of the mighty that is able to conceal that great giving. Pirush, says the Alter Rebbe, Hagadol, imidas chesed v'ispashtus ha'chayus b'chol ha'olam esubruim le'en ketz v'tachlis. Hagadol refers to the attribute of chesed, kindness, and to the spreading forth of the life force into all the worlds and created things without end or limit. So that they shall be created hex nihilo and exist through gratuitous kindness. For God maintains all creatures whether they are worthy of kindness or not. Menikra is gedulo. And the attribute of chesed is called gedula, greatness. Why? Because it derives from the greatness of the Holy One, blessed be He, from Himself in all His glory. For, as it says in Tehillim, it says, God is great, and His greatness is unsearchable, inasmuch as it is infinite. ולכן משפיע גם כן החיוס ועיסאווס מאין ליש לעולם הסוברואים אין קץ. And therefore, He also causes life force and existence, ex nihilo, to issue forth for an unlimited number of worlds and creatures. Sheteva atoiv laetiv, for it is the nature of the benevolent to do good. So this is the attribute of chesed that gives us the constant creation, endless creation. But with that alone, the world would not be able to exist. You need to have the power of contraction and concealment. And that we will continue to study tomorrow. Have a wonderful day.